Merry Christmas. I'm Bishop Stacy Fiddler of the Northern Illinois Synod, and I bring you greetings from the entire staff and the other churches and congregations and worshiping communities of Northern Illinois. I've been thinking a lot about an early Advent Sunday several years ago when two children were sitting with me in the front pew during worship. The choir sang a version of Isaiah's vision of God's kingdom and salvation, and they got to this part that repeats. It begins, "And the lamb will lie down with the leopard." And one of those children turned to me, puzzled, and said, "Leopards eat lambs." And she was right. I mean, I don't know if they come across each other much in the wild, but yeah, leopards would eat lambs. That seems pretty obvious. And yet the choir stood there singing, proclaiming it more boldly with each repeat, each time they sang it, "And the lamb will lie down with the leopard." No wonder she was puzzled. It sounds ridiculous. Unless you believe in what happens at Christmas. Unless you are willing to open your eyes to the impossible and see that with God, all things are possible. Unless you are willing to see and trust and hope for God's dream for the world. We gather this Christmas knowing full well how the world is going. We may not be able to bring in all the photographs and images of the last few years immediately to our minds, but we can call up the feelings, the anxiety, the sense of chaos, the uncertainty that causes us to take a step back, the fear that is everywhere. And maybe we look to Christmas to give us a calm, peaceful break from it all. A chance to forget before the next thing happens that clenches our stomachs and our hearts. But consider that Christmas is something else. That it is not a respite, but a renewal. It is not a chance to forget, but a chance to remember. An opportunity to remember what the world can be, will be, cries out and longs to be, and that it all starts with a vulnerable, tiny child. With this tiny child, God breaks into our world, a world not so different from ancient Bethlehem, a world full with wars and refugees and oppression. And with this child, God breaks into our world and comes in vulnerability. With this child, God breaks into our world, and with the shouts of angels breaks through it all with the bold cry, "Do not be afraid." Take the risk and believe that God is up to something more. Be vulnerable enough to dream God's dream for you, for your neighbor, for a child, even for your enemy. See and rejoice with abandon. As we gather to hear the story and sing the songs and gather at the table, we are reminded that God offers us more. We live in the world with a promise that fear never wins, a promise that justice and righteousness prevail, and that we look at one another as individuals and as nations with eyes of hope. Christmas is a seed, a renewed planting of God's kingdom among us, and we go carrying that renewed light with us. We go to be God's light in the world. We are sent out from this season singing and rejoicing each other and in the days ahead. And we are called to bring with us that song of the angels, "Be not afraid." There is good in this world. There is and will be joy. Go and live that, renewed in the Christmas story, planting that seed of possibility everywhere you go. Thanks be to God, and Merry Christmas from myself and from the entire Northern Illinois Synod staff.